with the stick to your vision,
Yeah,
I was intrigued by the Guess Who sample you got had with These Eyes, because
yeah,
that's some, classic rock type of thing, as
yeah.
opposed to Billy Squire, for instance. So, what was it at that point in your life, in your career, that you wanted to explore that type of sound that was so dramatically different?
Because I grew up listening to that. Like the Guess Who's a big Canadian rock group, right? So as a kid, we grew up listening to These Eyes by the Guess Who. We grew up listening to Rush. We grew up listening to like Black Sabbath. It wasn't just my dad getting jazz records and reggae records and early hip hop stuff as well. But it was also like my first DJ, Greg Nathaniel, aka DJ Greg. He put me onto a lot of rock as well, right? So that kind of opened me up to just like broaden my knowledge of music. So what got me I wanted to do stick to your vision to sample these eyes. It was like I was at a point in my career where a crossroads where the first two albums did really good, and the third one we didn't have that support. And didn't really do that well. Even though Showbiz was my dude and he gave me some bangers on that, overall we didn't have to push on the album, and it didn't do as well as the other two. I felt in a way where it was a turning point in my career. Felt all artists go through is the peaks and valleys. So I thought, how cool would it be to take this record right here, something that I grew up with, and flip it. And the thing is, somebody mailed me a disc, like a box set of the greatest Canadian songs. So you had Brian Adams on it. You had you name it, all the top Canadian groups, man, on that. I think Paul Anka was on that as well, like the big boys. But they decided to put "Let Your Backbone Slide" on as well. Like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. It really gave me energy. But the song that really inspired me was that song by the Guess Who, These Eyes, because it reminded me of when I was a kid growing up. And I'm like, that same energy that I had back then, I'm gonna flip that and use that for something new.
And then the the energy, how did the lyrics for Stick to Your Vision, because that's very much, you've seen victory, you've seen defeat, and you're showing the highs and lows of life, but that you need to be persistent. What was happening to you personally at the time that made you want to explore that as a song?
Um, I wasn't with LMR anymore, man. That deal didn't work out after that. After the first two, three albums, we went like this, and that was like a mutual split, what have you. But here I am stuck where I'm the first black artist to ever go gold, platinum in Canada, right? Did well on my first album. Second album, I tried to bring on my whole city with me, and that went gold, what have you. But it didn't do as well as the first one. And then the third album, Now This Kid Can Be From Canada. I said, if I'm going to enter different realms, I got to introduce myself as opposed to where I am over here. That's why I wanted to get more into like straight boom bap, where the hip hop originated, the Bronx, man. Let me connect with Show, what have you. And he even came to Toronto to record with me too, as well. Um, but without that label support, and on top of it, to be honest, looking back in retrospect, I might have had some bangers on that, but I didn't have like a hit record for a label to say, okay, this can go on, to be honest with myself as an artist and as an adult and mature about it, right?
Mhm.
So that's where I was, is like, what am I going to do next career wise? You see what I'm saying? Career wise. And that song, These Eyes, was it. That's what it was originally called, These Eyes, but we changed the title just cause These Eyes was a song by the Guess Who. So I remember like I went to Montreal. It was a Montreal music conference, and I sat on the plane going there. I sat beside a dude by the name of Chris Taylor, a lawyer, right, entertainment lawyer. And I said to myself, when we go back to Toronto, maybe me and him could work together because he's representing artists like Cardinal, Jelly Stone, a lot of up and coming artists at the time, right? And we had a good bond. Like, you know what, this guy will help me get my second record deal, what have you. But when I got to one of the panels there, one of the people in the panel was a lawyer by the name of Susan Abramovich, and she started talking about all the artists that she represents, and one of those artists was Randy Bachman. I'm like, yo, I got this song called These Eyes that I'm trying to get the sample cleared. You know what I'm saying? I said, you just finished saying you represent Randy Bachman. She goes, yeah. She goes, when you come back to Toronto, let's have a talk. And we ended up having a talk. She ended up negotiating a deal where the writers of Stick to Your Vision is Wes Williams, Burton Cummings, and Randy Bachman. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I connected with Chris Taylor at the time, but that was the right thing to do because of that connection right there that this lawyer had with Randy Bachman. And I remember letting Randy Bachman hear the lyrics, and he's like a really religious dude. So I had a line saying, "Chicks from every nationality grabbing my anatomy." He says, "Maestro, I have a problem with that line." So I changed it to, "Okay, chicks from every nationality showing hospitality." How's that sound? Okay, Maestro. You know what I'm saying? So, and shout out to my man Too Rude as well, because originally a producer by the name of Frankenstein and me, we did the original. I got the deal, whatever, with Attic Records, and then it was like, we got a chance to remix this now, man. So I put my man Too Rude on. He put the bells and whistles on that. And all I gotta say is Stick to Your Vision was one of my best songs. And to see Burton Cummings, to shake his hand, Burton Cummings gave me a big bear hug. Thank you. Thank you. Because it was like, besides us, besides me and Lenny Kravitz, people weren't really remembering those Guess Who songs. Because Lenny Kravitz, he redid American Woman, and I redid These Eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you mentioned Jellystone. I got to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
That was the first time I came to Toronto was to interview him when he was on Warner Brothers.
That's my
So
dude, man. That's my
yeah,
dude. We did a couple songs together. Enough respect.
yeah. No, I know you had worked with them. So uh, that's great. Now, also through the next part of your career, a lot of these songs are on or part of the Rap Prime Minister new project that you have. So what was the thought process to utilize a lot of the songs from the 2010s up till today for Rap Prime Minister?
That's a very good question as well, man. The the Rap Prime Minister is 24 songs that I've written within the last 24 years that I like. You know what I mean? That I chose them. The Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, lives on 24 Sussex Drive in Ottawa, Canada. If I'm the Rap Prime Minister, I might as well drop 24 joints that I feel, you know what I mean? Within the last 24 years. And on top of that, March 24th, I'll become the first hip hop artist inducted in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. And it's the year 2024. So the number 24 is very symbolic for that. And that's why I chose those songs. So those weren't necessarily the hit records that everybody might know me from back in the days, like what we just mentioned. But those are songs that I like, that I just felt like to show growth, show professional musical evolution. When you look at who I work with, man, Cool Key from the legendary Ultramagnetic, Raz Kaz, Planet Asia, Coogee Rap, not to mention Adam Bomb, not to mention Socrates, Cardinal, a lot of artists from Toronto who I respect as well. Rich Kid, you know, it's a beautiful project. I'm real proud of it, man.
Yeah, it's a great piece of work, and I like the fact that you had mentioned Black Trudeau with Rap Prime Minister. That song being from the Orchestrated Noise LP that was like 2013. And the great thing is a lot of these songs sound like current sounds, so they haven't aged, or if you think they've aged very well. So
Thank
for
you.
the oh, you're welcome. For the Black Trudeau in particular, Rap Prime Minister, why do you think that song resonates so well back then and then till today?
The funny part is when I wrote that, man, that wasn't for Justin Trudeau. That was for his dad, Pierre Elliott Trudeau. I said I'd be the Black Pierre Elliott, speaking to my delegates. No time for small talk, inflammatory rhetoric. I'm dead in it. House of Commons know I got knowledge. Out to shatter shit. I'll murder any member in my cabinet. Ain't no debating who's the hardest to kill. Concert halls where I brawl. Call it Parliament Hill. You conservative or liberal, I hit you with my lyrical. Mulrooney try to school me, but I'm one smooth criminal. So it just showed, like I said, I'm a concept-driven artist. I performed that at a Public Enemy concert, a cappella. Chuck pulled me on stage. Flavor Flav, there's a part of the show where they have Flavor Flav playing drums. They'll pull up some local artists. So Chuck pulled me on stage. I whispered in his ear, yo, I got this joint called Black Trudeau. I got to do this a cappella. The crowd will go nuts. Trust me. He goes, all right. Flav held the drums. When I spit my bars, I had a line when I said, I told Mr. Carter now, drop another anthem, the T-Dot Municipal, show them we invincible. The crowd made noise. I said, I told Rob Ford, stick to your vision. But when I saw him eat, bruh, stick to nutrition. Opposite, yo, fam, the crowd went nuts. Rest in peace, Rob Ford. But still, the crowd went nuts. I looked to my right. Chuck fell. Chuck D fell. All I saw was this guy dropped at my bars, man. So a part of
Wow.
me was like, I got a couple lines left. Should I pick up my brother or should I finish my bar? Fuck that. Let me finish my bars. Let me finish my bars, right? Finish that. Helped him back up on his feet. And it was like, that's one of my hip hop highlights right there. You could YouTube that too.
You
Just see.
literally knocked Chuck D off his feet, huh?
I knocked Chuck D off his feet. If he heard us right now, he's laughing. He laughed because that's exactly what happened. You'll see him standing still like this, and then it just hit him. And you just see him like, ah, that's one of my hip hop highlights, man. Enough respect to my brother.
Hmm. Okay. Well, we had mentioned Stick to Your Vision, and I think one of your other big songs too was Underestimated. And that one has somewhat of a similar vibe of like overcoming doubt or haters or even self worry or what have you. So is that something that you wrestle with yourself, or is that just something you need to help people with, or how does that come?
Both, both. I wrestle with that all the time, right? And I know that if I wrestle with it all the time, a lot of people wrestle with that all the time as well. A lot of us have self doubt. A lot of us sometimes don't think that we're good enough, and it's a voice tapping into us. We're here for a reason. There's a reason why I'm still here. The Most High wouldn't have brought me here so far just to stay stagnant. I'm supposed to be doing great things, so I got to remember that all the time because the world will make you forget about your true greatness. You see what I'm saying? So a song like "Underestimated" is like, yes, a lot of times we underestimate ourselves, man. A lot of times we're the ones who underestimate ourselves. Um, so I thought that could be something people could resonate with as well. And like I said, my whole slogan, especially when you look at my career, is like I said, don't make records, make history. A song like Underestimated, that was on NHL 17 EA Sports, man. I got that on a hockey game, so and I just think the words resonate with people, man. So that's what I always try to do. I want when I'm finished with this game, look back and people be like, yo, this guy did something, made a lot of impact.